Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. This is Wednesday's Q&A, where you ask questions and I try to answer them as best as I can. Okay, so it is Wednesday. I hope you're having a manageable week. My week has been okay so far. Busy, but okay. Introspective, thinking about changes as per usual. Let's see here. There's a few things going on. The energy remains the same. Still pretty heavy. This waiting period, this sort of hanging in midair, it feels like. But we're getting through it. We are moving forward. Before we begin, because I just kind of want to jump right in, everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I say here is alleged. This is for informational purposes only. Everything I say is alleged, even in the comments, okay? Okay. If you want a personal reading, you can click more in the description of this video, and you'll see the link there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can email me moonlightergy15@gmail.com. Okay? All right. I think that was everything. So let's just jump straight into the first question. Okay. Let's clean my glasses. First question. What really, this is from John. Sorry, I can't see. Joni R5487. The question is, what really happened to the 4 U.S. fighter jets that reportedly fell into the ocean? Did they really fall into the ocean, or were they redirected to another country like Russia? Okay. All right. Okay, so let's see here. That's a good question. Again, guys, I only chose 12 questions, the ones that I felt were that I felt most drawn to. Okay. Let's see what Spirit says. Okay. Did the 4 fighter jets actually just crash into the ocean? Did the 4 fighter jets actually just crash into the ocean? Saying no. Very interesting. Okay, clear the center, please. Did something nefarious happen with the 4 fighter jets? Did something nefarious occur with the 4 fighter jets? Okay, it's saying yes. Clear the center. Were they sent to another country? Were the 4 fighter jets sent to another country? Saying yes. Clear the center. Were they given to Russia? Were the 4 fighter jets given to Russia? Were the 4 fighter jets? Saying yes. Okay. Wow. Wow. Tell me more. The Emperor. That's so weird. Seeing something in my eyes, like in my mind rather. I don't know what I'm seeing, looking at. What am I looking at? Oh, fortune. Knight of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. King of Swords. There's this risky energy I'm feeling here. It's a risky... Feels like for the benefit of winning. For the benefit of winning, I keep hearing. To turn the tide. They're given to Russia. Let's see. King of Wands, Queen of Swords. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. 10 of... Six of Wands. 10 of Pentacles, Six of Wands. All these wands here, it's about taking risks, doing something, risky. Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, King of Wands. Okay. Queen of Swords, King of Swords, Seven of Swords, thievery. Doing things covertly. Look at that raven. Or is it a crow? I think it's a crow. I never noticed that at the bottom of this card. Doing things covertly. It's about stealing and theft and corruption and secret. 10 of Pentacles, money. The Emperor. Someone thinks they're an emperor. Wheel of Fortune, to turn the tide, to turn, the wheel can turn, Wow. Wow. This feels like with the Queen and the King of Swords that someone is looking at this. I'm not sure if they're, and you know, the Seven of Swords came out with that. Let's see, real quick. Is someone investigating these 4 fighter jets suddenly falling into the ocean, supposedly? Saying yes. Clear the center, please. Are they searching for the truth of what really happened? They're saying yes. Clear the center, please. Do they believe they simply fell into the ocean? Do they believe it simply fell into the ocean? They're saying no. Okay. This Queen and King here. And the Seven of Swords came up in it. Does the King and Queen of Swords in this reading represent the person or persons investigating? Saying yes. A hard yes. Interesting. Okay, clear the center. Will this be exposed? Will this information be exposed? Will the truth be exposed? Saying yes. Kind of feel like that's what the Six of Wands represent. They want to expand in some way. I don't know what just 4, jets would do. I don't know if they're like secretly doing it little by little so it doesn't look so strange. I don't know. I don't really know. I vaguely remember something happening with in a big accident, but I don't remember when it happened. I know it was recent, but the answer is yes, and it's being looked at. I could feel it in the energy that it's being looked at. That the story, what is that saying? Something in the milk ain't clean, or the buttermilk ain't clean, or something like that. That, the story being presented, someone is like, I don't know, Chief. It sounds sketchy. Okay. Question number 2. Question number 2 is Jane F. Perez 7540. Kim, can you ask if the impeachment will be successful? Okay. Let's see. There are a lot of Democrats. I shouldn't say a lot. I don't know how many. But there are Democrats upset with this man for trying to force the vote or forcing the vote. And I'm just like, why? Why? Even if he's doing it for show, I feel like we have nothing to lose. Because there's so much lost already. So even if it doesn't, I'll see in a second, but even if it doesn't go anywhere, there's no limit to how many times you could draw up articles. And what's the worst that could happen except it just doesn't go through. But I feel like at this point, at this juncture, and looking at where we are and feeling what I'm feeling and seeing, we are in the worst of it. And so my perception is, why not just continue to say we don't want this person? and you say, oh, it's a waste of time. I need to understand, why is it a waste of time? If I could understand, then I would maybe change my perception. I don't know. But I feel in my intuition that it isn't. Because drawing up articles of impeachment, no matter what, you're like, it's too early. Well, when is it not too early? When we're burning? We're burning. I don't know if you've noticed. People are people who even support him are starting to panic and get upset. So why wouldn't you just continue to draw up? That's part of the problem, I think. I understand the Democrats. I don't agree with them being like the Republicans and doing the things that they do. We can't, I don't support that necessarily. Because they do things out, around the bounds of the law. But tradition, y'all are just so fixated on it. I understand they understand how things work, but this is broken. He has understood the loopholes of our system that has always been flawed and disgusting. And so it's broken now. It's broke. So it's time to move forward and do something different. It's time to be brave and bold. Let me just hop off my little TED Talk, my soapbox, and ask the question. Will this impeachment proceeding go through? Will this current impeachment proceeding, is saying yes. That's very interesting. I don't know. It's swinging hard, a hard yes. Okay, clear the center. Will Donald Trump be impeached with this current articles of impeachment? Saying yes. Clear the center. Will Donald Trump be removed with this impeachment? Will he be removed with this impeachment? Saying no. Okay. It feels like it's circling. Wait. Hold on. No, saying maybe. I felt it circling. Like it wasn't quite ready to say. Now saying maybe. Okay, clear the center, please. I have to ask again. Will Donald Trump be removed due to this current impeachment process? Will Donald Trump be removed due to this current impeachment process? Okay, it's saying maybe. I'm saying maybe, guys. Okay. All right. Whew. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Let's see. Let me grab his deck. just make sure this is all above board. It's saying yes, that it will go through, and yes, he will be impeached, and no, he won't be removed. Which, stands to reason. Stands to reason. What do I want to? Just show me the okay. Death in reverse. No, upright. It came out in reverse. Death and 3 of Swords. Interesting. I'm very surprised by these answers, actually. Okay. Will Donald Trump be impeached? Okay. Alright, this is in reverse too. I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm just asking a question. Okay, 7 of Wands in reverse. Knight of Swords. The Fool. 9 of Pentacles. King of Wands. What are these cards? Anyway. King of Cups. They keep showing me an image of the man, of the congressman. Is it a senator? No, the congressman they keep showing me his face. They keep showing me his face. They keep showing me him. It's interesting, his energy, and I keep hearing the word relentless. This is him. This King of Wands. That's him. He doesn't care if it's foolish. He doesn't care if they're calling it dumb and foolish. He does not care. He doesn't give a crap. These two came out in reverse. Where are you? This 3 of Swords and the Death card in reverse. This is about healing. And this could be a refusal to change. Yep. Stagnation. Resistance. Even they don't even know it. My guides are saying to me, they don't even know, the Democrats, that they're even resistant. Some of them are even resistant to change. I'm beginning to understand and learn now that there's a weird feedback loop of like getting used to the battle getting used to, this is what this is. It's like you're used to the same crap every so often. Every 4 years, you're used to battling and having something to battle against or speak out against, but still resisting the true change that has to happen. It's insane. And so this man, what is his name? Representative Shiri Thanadar from Michigan said he will press forward and force a vote on Wednesday to impeach President Trump, defying his own party. Is this a show for him? Could be. But I also kind of don't feel that. They are stuck in a cycle. And some of them may not even notice that they're stuck. Things could change. Things need to change. We're in pain. This 3 of Swords in reverse means releasing pain. But the Death card came out in reverse. Death, the major card, is a resistance to change, stagnancy. You have to do things differently because it feels like this is what my guys just said to me. I just had a revelation that I've been slowly coming to last night. I realized that they are resistant to change themselves. Almost like fighting against the Republicans is some of their identities. And Kamala wanted to do things differently. She wanted to do things differently. And everyone was up in arms when she said, "Yeah, I would put some Republicans in my cabinet." Perhaps that is the issue. I get it. Most of them are not good. I believe though, it is a small percentage of them who actually want to govern, who actually want to help their constituents. Okay. Is this just a show for him? Is this a way to get more attention? No. No. You have the 7 of Wands in reverse. You have, this came out in reverse. The 7 of Wands is about using your voice, finding your voice, standing your ground. It's in reverse. That's the issue. That's the issue. Y'all be waffling. The Democrats know how to govern. They do care about their constituents. They do get things done. When they are in charge, the economy gets better. Those are the facts. However, we are far beyond what is a quote-unquote normal here. This is far beyond. And so something has to change. And this is what this man is saying. The fool is here. He doesn't care what they say. He's saying we are in danger. We have authority. We have strength and power. Anyway, there's your answers. I'm feeling very self-reflective today, guys. Maybe it's the rain, but things need to change. That's it. There's no negotiation anymore. You have to change. You have to be willing to change on both sides, but it's crazy out here. And y'all talking about, it's too early. What? Who cares? At this point, who cares? Who cares? Anyway, number 3. Okay, number 3. 𝐀𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐬𝐿. Does trauma from past lives still remain with us in our current life? And is there any validity to past life regression, hypnosis, to heal these traumas? I don't know about the hypnosis. I can't speak on that, but to answer your first question, yes. You mean like karmic cycles? Yeah, I do believe that. Let me get my thoughts in order. I was told long ago that something I find myself, a space at that time I found myself in. 2 different psychics told me that this is something from a past life that needs to heal, that I have to heal from. That's why it keeps coming up in my current life. And it was about like karmic lessons and things like that. But my thoughts on it are, this is a very complex question, because it's like I'm thinking about souls, as they are reborn, because I do believe in that. I'm thinking about, okay, so the show I used to watch with the children who remember their past lives, and as they're younger, one of the children was like in the Civil War, and he would have nightmares about, explosions, and even he remembered his death and the pain he suffered and all that stuff. He remembered his parents from his past life and all of those things, and he would have night terrors because he would think of the war and what he experienced in his past life. So it makes me think of that. Your question makes me think of that, and it makes me think of what I was told about this karmic cycle, and this happened in my past life, so now I have to sort of fix it fix it now, this pattern. I don't know, it's like it makes me think of how we're all made of energy, and how, I don't know, like it's hard to fathom. But I think like what I'm like understanding is, I don't know if it's how many times it makes you question so many things, and because of so many different ideologies and different religions and beliefs, how many times the soul is recycled or reused. Is it the same soul? Is it a new soul? I don't know. But I do believe that, yes, if you bring in trauma from a past life into your new life, and you have to heal that trauma, then it makes you it makes me think of like, I keep saying footsteps in my mind or a footprint, that is your soul. There's the energy so strong that when you are reborn, when you're reborn again, do we have the same soul? Do we have multiple past lives? Yes, I believe that. That's what I believe. Okay. I hope I answered your question, and I could only speak from what I know or what I've read or what I understand, which isn't a lot. You know what I mean? So I can answer these kinds of questions from my own experience and what I'm beginning to understand about these things. Okay? But hypnosis is interesting. It's a very tricky, because hypnosis works for some people and it doesn't work for others. And, you know, it's about your subconscious, and it's very complex. And suggesting, how suggestive your mind is. Number 4. Charvel, Siobhan, sorry. It's my dyslexia. Siobhan C9102 and Robservation. You guys asked sort of the same question. Will DT keep his word to the South Africans to support them for a year? What is the energy around them being in the U.S. As refugees brought here, which is, it's very funny. Very, very funny to me. Observation asks, what is the real story behind the immigrants from South Africa? It's unlikely about giving support to U.S. farmers or granting asylum on the administration's claims. Sure, he's doing that. I think it's connected to Elon Musk. The fact that they are calling themselves refugees, wanting to leave, I mean, that's a whole other... It's racism. You know. When the face of the country has changed, when your people went to when you went there to oppress others, and those people were granted their freedoms, and there are some very strict rules about racism in South Africa. And a lot of white South Africans, I shouldn't say a lot, and I don't live there, but what I've read, I can say, I shouldn't say a lot. Some are not very happy, you know, for a number of reasons. But all I could say is, anyway, I'm not going to say that, but y'all know what I'm about to say. But them coming here and him granting them asylum is, you know, I don't know their experience, but the response to, I will say this, the response to them coming here and the federal government saying, sure, yeah, well, you guys could come here and you're white, so great, you know, we'll take care of you. Under the laws, this new program, these new definitions of what a refugee is. And so, you know, South African government saying, these fools ain't refugees. What? And people, advocacy groups here whose job, you know, programs and agencies whose job is to resettle actual refugees are saying, we're not doing that. There's already a few saying, refusing them service. Who are you running from? Sometimes people who are used to anyway, let's answer the question. I don't know what I'm asking though. Will Donald Trump really take care of these South African immigrants? Yes. Yeah, he means it. Clear the center. Are they truly here to work as farmers? No. Okay. I mean, it's just really disrespectful. It's really racist. It's fine if you want. I have no problem. If you want to come here for a quote unquote better life, but don't. It's just so blatantly. There are actual people in countries who are unsafe. I don't know their situation. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but there are other people seeking asylum, but the evidence is clear that, this country, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. We're going to be okay. Okay. But there's your answer. I hope I answered. Number 6. Number 5. I can't see. Number 5. Rhonda R. 8443. How will Fox News position themselves after Donald Trump's removal? I don't know. Fox News is so... I have no idea how they would position. How would they position themselves? They would ignore it. Let's see what the cards say. That's what I just heard. They'll ignore it. Or they, how could you ignore such a thing, though? Perhaps try to downplay it. Justice flipped over. Maybe even turn on him. Justice and 5 cups. Business as usual, the 8 of Pentacles. They'll be upset with the 5 of Cups, for sure. Ouch. 2 of Wands. Three of Cups. Gonna be thinking about their viewers. 3 of Pentacles. Now, where do we go from here? 4 of Pentacles. it feels like they'll talk about it, but the Eight of Pentacles there makes me feel like just business as usual. Yeah, like Ten of Cups is here. It feels like they won't change. The Sun is there, ignoring what they usually do when Donald Trump does something that's horrendous, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So they'll stick to their playbook. It feels like the Four of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Perhaps even feeling sorry for him. I'm not quite sure with the Justice card here. Look at the bottom of the Justice card. You know, justice spiritually is about your purpose as well. It's about integrity. You know, Five of Cups is next to it. They don't got that. They'll be like business as usual, ignoring the true issue. Okay. Number 6. Is that where we are? Number 6. What's going to happen to the Heritage Foundation and to their CEO, Kevin Roberts, and Vice President Russell Vought? Are they ever going to pay for what they have been doing? Probably not. I forgot about them. You know that? Show me the outcome for the Heritage Foundation. Let's look at, what are the names? Kevin Roberts. Show me his outcome. They have a lot of money, that foundation. Oh, those aren't. What will happen to them? What is his outcome? What is his outcome? From the Pentacles, Two of Cups, Knight of Swords, Four of Wands, Ten of Swords. Let's look at the other guy. Russell Vought. These men are weirdos, by the way. You can feel in their energy. They're very strange. Very strange men. Creepy. Let me use the other. The same cards may come up. Let's see. Russell, you see how quick I forget people's names? I forget so quickly. Show me Russell's outcome. Come on. Jeez. What's going on with my shuffling all week? He has the 7 of Pentacles here too on the bottom. It wants to come out, perhaps. Okay. Okay. King of Wands. They have very similar energy. Temperance. King of Swords. 7 of Swords. And the Hangman. Hangman in reverse. The Tower is there. They told me to pull one more. My nose is so itchy. Give me the ultimate outcome. Oh no, the Hangman is not in reverse. It's upright. And the Tower. With the 10 of Swords there. Give me... Ace of Swords on the bottom. Queen of Pentacles. Temperance is on the bottom here too. And they are wolves in sheep's clothing. And they present this... Oh, shoot. They present this face to people. The Hangman is here as well as the Hermit flew out. Give me one more. This is ultimate outcome. Doesn't look good for them. What my guys are showing me is who they are. And the Emperor came out. Seven of Cups. It's like this face they present, but they're very creepy men, actually. You see here the 7 of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups. Here, the Knight of Swords, 4 of Wands, 10 of Swords. They want to grow and expand. They are, you know, with the 7 of Pentacles here. They want to build a solid foundation, but it feels like it's not very stable. The 10 of Swords is there, you know, an ending. Perhaps an ending to the pain they're causing. You know, you have the Hangman here and the Hermit as the ultimate outcome, and he has the Hangman. This is the CEO. This is the other guy. King of Wands, Temperance, King of Swords, Seven of Swords, Hangman in reverse. The Tower here came out in his energy, and the Queen of Pentacles. It feels like delays, exposure, okay? A total collapse perhaps, but it'll take some time. It'll take time because they have a lot of support behind them. But the Tower and the Queen of Pentacles here, perhaps a financial collapse. They have their hands in a lot of things with the Seven of Pentacles, but there'll be some delays for them. It feels as though their ending won't be good, but it'll take some time. They have their hands in a lot of pots. Creepy men. Creeps. Yeah, they're ending. It's sort of like I could see their foundation falling apart, but it's not. It's gonna be some time. It's not, doesn't feel like anytime soon. Okay. Number 7. Bonnie R. If Donald Trump is trying to make other countries bring Starlink on board as part of his tariff negotiations, will this be successful? Or will countries refuse this extortion? That's plain like extortion. It's so blatantly obvious. Everything is so blatant, and it's just like, what? He doesn't have power. It's like he does and says these things, and people just look at him like, get out of here. Go away from me. Okay. Will countries accept Donald Trump's demand that they use Starlink in order to... It's saying no already. Saying no. There's something, an article I read, I can't remember where I was reading it, that there are European countries investigating Starlink or looking into Starlink. I can't remember what it was though. Okay, number 8. What is the... Should just not take my glasses off. What is the... Sorry, number 8 is IB4B. What is the spray you use and what is it for? I assume to clear the energy. I need more info on clearing negative energy. Okay. I use Palo Santo spray. Okay, it's from Shaman's Dawn. This is not a promotion, a paid promotion. Okay, and yes, I use it to clear the energy. So Palo Santo is good to clear negative energies away from you, to cleanse the energy, the air. You could buy candles. I prefer, sometimes I'll buy sticks, but they're hard to come by nowadays. So I'll buy sprays, I'll buy candles. This Shaman's Dawn is really good. They are inexpensive. They have a lot to offer when it comes to spirituality, candles. They're inexpensive. They burn long and they're strong. I use them often. Okay, they're in East meets West, but a secret that I learned is that East meets West, while I do enjoy going there, they're very expensive. So I went straight to this website and bought these things for way, way cheaper. Okay. Palace, Shaman's Dawn is called .com. Okay. In terms of cleansing, I listen to meditation frequencies on YouTube that target different things, increasing your intuition, getting rid of negative energy, relaxation, anxiety. I also do a cleansing ritual with Epsom salt. Salt is very pure, and so I do that. That's pretty intense for me when I really need to cleanse. I do that I try to do it at least once a week. My issue is discipline, so sometimes I have a lot going on, or sometimes I just, don't have a lot going on. But I need to, I've been keeping up with it. Okay, so those are just a few things that I do. All right. If you want some links, just let me know. Okay. Number 9. I wonder about the state. Oh, this is from user CF10Y. I'm not reading all that. Okay. You know who you are. I wonder about the state of souls when you are channeling. For those who have crossed over, it almost seems like some of them don't have a higher knowing or perspective and react with ego. Is that because they have lowered their vibration to meet you? Or they are detaching from their higher selves, etc. And then for those living, are we just stepping into their souls as they are now? Wait. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. As they are now in life on earth, or their higher selves. I don't think they're responding with their ego. There's a few things I'm beginning to understand. People ascend differently. Okay? There are different levels of ascension. But for the most part, when I channel someone who has passed, it's much, much easier than channeling someone who is still alive. Talking to their higher selves is more difficult. It's different, a different form of energy I have to use. That honestly, well, I enjoy channeling people who have passed more, way more. Okay. When I channel someone who has passed away, I think, yes, it is another state of existence. They aren't in their physical body, but they are still themselves, if that makes sense. And I say this because they are still themselves without the static of being in the earthly plane, meaning the issues and the difficulties and, all the stuff that is hard to be in the physical world. They don't have that. But they are still themselves. They do have opinions, they have thoughts and emotions, There are some people, I'm just going to put a pin on that. Going back to ascending, there are some people that I have channeled who have ascended very, very high. And so, for example, Martin Luther King, Jr., when I talked to Jesus, I could feel a wall for Martin Luther King Jr. He is very high up. And so he, when I would channel with him, he speaks to me in a way that is, I don't necessarily feel his emotion, his personality. I feel his wisdom. I feel his power, I mean, I feel everyone. His energy is very powerful. I feel everyone's energy, but he's ascended. He is up there. He is an ascended master, I believe. But I do feel, going backwards, taking the pen off, I do feel people's personalities. And I'm able to describe a person to someone who is requesting me to connect with a past loved one. That's the first thing even when I channel people who are alive, I feel who they are. I will see certain things, or rather feel they might have a good sense of humor. Some of them are private and they talk around things. They won't directly tell me, those sort of things. And so I think sometimes, even with a higher, your higher self is you, but they are more evolved. They spread wisdom. It's like a self-realization, okay? And so we could evolve and connect with our higher selves living here in the earthly physical plane, or we are not quite there yet, okay? But going back, I hope I'm not just rambling, but sometimes I think people have this idea of those who have passed on and that they are like beyond being upset about something. I might ask them, or they're just wise and give it, there's just this wise earth, spirit who, it's not always like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say they respond with ego, because I could feel in their energy that a lot of times, some of them are still adjusting to being on the other side, and it's hard for them not being in the physical world. Some of them is like, this is great, this is cool, I'm in a great place, and they'll show me where they are, but they're still them. They tell jokes. they cry. They get emotional. It makes me emotional when they're talking about a loved one or answering a question. They could show their annoyance. So it's not necessarily, I think there are different levels of ascension. I think there are, some who are just up there, and so there's sort of that wall, and others who aren't super high, but they've passed on. They are beyond the veil in a different state of being. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. I hope, this is what I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I do think I understand what is happening, what state of being a person is. So that doesn't mean that it doesn't, like John F. Kennedy telling me that joke, like, it doesn't mean they pass over and they become this, maybe if they've passed over for so long, I don't think so, because it feels like certain spirits or souls up there, it feels like they have, some of them, I'm like, wow, they're doing something important. I could feel it. They have jobs up there. They're doing, they have purpose up there. They're doing something sometimes. And some of them are just living in a different state of being. but doesn't necessarily change their personality and make them this, you know, they know things, but sometimes they aren't all knowing of like or some, you know, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I know they know stuff. Like I know they know, but if I don't ask, they're not going to give it to me. And sometimes they won't give it to me, you know? I hope I answered your question, but thank you. That was a good question. I like that. Number 10. Number 10 is from 7G.𝐀𝐬𝐭𝐢𝐫. I never read when you guys are like, hi, thank you for, it's just, thank you, okay, for watching me. I appreciate, okay, yeah. Okay, back to the question. My question is, a lot of people are feeling that ICE agents are really the Proud Boys and the insurrectionists. What do you feel, and what are your guides telling you about this? I could see that, but it's not something that's new, because I remember when I was in grad school and there was a report that came out from a civil rights advocacy group that is very famous, but I can't remember its name. And I know a lot of you probably know who I'm talking about, but they came out with it was multiple research articles that a lot of white nationalists join. You know, they joined the police academy and even the FBI, and you know, there was a big story on it around the time I was in grad school. So that was like 2013, around that time. So that it's not anything new. I do believe there's some validity to it. You do see people, even people who don't want to mind their business, asking people for their identity, which is very, sometimes I'm like, what year is this? Asking other citizens for their identity, much similar to, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But let's see. I wouldn't be surprised. I do sense there's some validity to it. All ICE agents? No. Some, possibly. Are ICE agents, what was the question? Are they white nationalists? Are some ICE agents white nationalists? Yes. Clear the center. Are some ICE agents Proud Boys? Saying no. Okay, clear the center. Are some ICE agents insurrectionists? No, I don't think so. Okay, so there's your answer. That has been since the end of time. here in this country. Number 11 is this is from Infinite Curly. I hope I said that right. What is the energy around AOC? There's a lot of different paths that she could take, like challenging Schumer for the Senate seat. Very interesting. Like I said, they don't like change. They're one of them. He is one of them. Let's see. She hasn't talked about what she's doing next. You know, it's tough because she does have a lot against her. I don't know if she's had any bills passed. She's made a lot of change and progress in her approach to how she governs and, doing the work she does. Will AOC challenge Schumer for his Senate seat? Says yes. That would be tough for her. Said yeah. Clear the center. Would she be successful in winning the Senate seat? Said no. She needs more time. She needs more time, is what my guide said. Let me use another deck. I'm going to do this quick. Where am I with time? Okay. Devil. It's a devil. Yeah, they would, quite honestly, oh, I forgot to pick that up. The devil is there. It's naked people, so I have to keep it face down. The Empress. Interesting. Three of Pentacles. Ten of Swords. There would be too much opposition right now for her. Four of Swords. Ace of Cups. She has the power enough to do it, but not now. It would be, the Three of Pentacles here with the Empress here makes me feel as though it's something she's considering seriously. And I kind of feel it said no. The pendulum that, she wouldn't be successful, but it doesn't feel like a strong no. It feels like it is not the right time for her now. She has to expand more. The Devil is here and the Ten of Swords is here. Okay? And so that's too much opposition. It might be too much backstabbing. So she has power. Like I said before when I channeled her and I felt her energy, she's gonna go very, very far But not right now. We'll see what she does, though. She's very smart. She's very smart, though, because she knows that she being in her energy right now, it's like she knows how to play the game now. Unfortunately, it's a game. It's not a game to her, but she understands the politics. I could never be in politics. I would just be fired. I would fight. If I was in Congress, I would impeach Donald Trump every chance I got. They would hate me. If I was in Congress, I would draw up articles every single chance, and they would be so upset with me. They would probably try to take my seat. That's why I'm not in politics. Okay, I couldn't do it. I can't. I would probably start my own party. You know, so that was it. That's it, guys. Some of the questions made me a little spicy, so but like I said, we're in this holding pattern, and it's like when the race is about to start, or we are on top of the roller coaster, we're ready to propel forward. Something is looming, and it's going to be interesting, but we are preparing ourselves this month for it. So I encourage you to take a break from the news. Remember the facts, and yes, things are upsetting, so you're not ignoring it. Respond instead of react. Do something that makes you feel, if you want to take action in some way, look up advocacy groups. If you feel like you need support, look up support groups. If you feel like you need to talk to a licensed professional, I encourage you to do that as well. Pray. Take care of yourselves. We have to live our lives. We have to live our lives. Despite the terrible energy, dark energy that is trying to consume everything. That's what it feels like. Do y'all ever see that movie, the Stephen King movie, The Langoliers? That's sort of what the energy, this holding pattern. Any millennials that may have saw that movie at a young age, or older, older than millennial, Gen X. Anyway, I will see you guys on Friday. Okay. And I'll do some channel messages and read some cards. All right. So see you Friday. Please like this video. Comment. Let me know what you think. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.